Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be checking this out, the new JBL Quantum Stream Talk, and we're going to be seeing how it is to use, how it sounds, and if I think you should get one. All of that soon to come, but if you guys could please hit those like and subscribe buttons before we get started, that'd be awesome as always. And with all that out of the way, let's get into this. Okay, so what even is this thing? It's an external desktop mic that's basically used for if you don't want to use a headset mic or like an integrated microphone. This thing is like a step up above that. It's not quite professional or anything like that, but it's definitely better than anything you're going to get that's integrated. Something like this does come with some creature comforts in that it allows you to do things like adjusting your gain levels directly on the device and having a physical mute switch. It also allows for headphone pass-through with the ability to change your volume along on the same knob as you change your gain with, all through pretty intuitive controls, I think. So that's pretty much what it is, but now let's get into the important part. How does this thing even sound? So we're going to go through a couple sound tests here, and I'll kind of like explain them as we go through them. So we're going to start out with a recording of how it sounds kind of like in just a generic quiet environment. Okay, so I have it recording now. So testing, testing, testing. This is a test of the microphone in a pretty normal situation. Nothing really going on behind it. Just to give you guys an idea what it sounds like. So that's pretty good test of that. And now that we did that, we're going to do one that's maybe a little bit further away. So if it was like across your desk or something like that, kind of giving you an idea of what it would sound like in that situation. Now here's a test of the microphone, like rather far away, I'd say, like at least like 2-3 feet away, just to give you an idea of what that would sound like. And now this is an important one, especially considering it's like aimed kind of at streamers. I'm going to put one across from a relatively loud, I think, keyboard to see how it handles that type of background interference. Now we're going to test it with some keyboard noises in the background. Like you definitely can hear the keyboard noises, I'm sure, but it's just like an idea of what it would sound like if you're doing it really close to the mic. And then finally, we're going to have a test where it's kind of in like maybe someone else is talking in the room or there's like background music or something like that, just to give you an idea of how well it kind of directs the sound. Okay, now here's a recording of the microphone with some background music playing just across the room. It's not really loud, but it's just loud enough that you definitely could be able to hear it. So that's kind of the idea with that. So now that we like know what it sounds like, let's get into like the actual usability. Because if it does sound good, but it's relatively hard to use, that doesn't mean a lot. And I'm going to start off with some of the good stuff. It does actually have a really easy way to set the gain on it. So if you want it to be like put out a louder signal or a quieter signal, that's really easy to change. It also comes in a really small form factor, which is nice, especially if you wanted to like have it on your desk. It's not like one of those like big bulky things. It's relatively small. I mean, as you can tell, it's very skinny. But on to some of the less good things. So it does have a one tap mute button. So you just tap the top here and it mutes. But unfortunately, sometimes that press doesn't register all the way and it can leave you tapping it and you have to like kind of forcefully tap it. Like it'll click without actually registering the click sometimes. Like it's only if you press it lightly, but like it definitely has happened to me more than once. So I wanted to point that out there. And as well, being that the form factor, it's like all integrated in one device, you can't mount it on an arm. So I know a lot of microphones, even like some of the cheaper ones, you can mount on like a boom arm and stuff, which makes it nice because it gets it out of your way and off your desk. But this does not have that ability. So that pretty much sums up all my thoughts about this thing. I think especially for its price, I haven't seen the US pricing yet, but for euros, it's like 50 euros. So I mean, I think that's like relatively like mid-tier for microphones. I think it sounds really good, and I think it actually is really easy to use, despite like the few kind of glitches I found with it so far. I want to point out that this could be especially useful for people who have wireless headsets, because I know a lot of wireless headsets, like the microphone on them, just sounds absolutely terrible, and you will get people complaining at you if you use those type of things. So I think that this is like a relatively cheap like addition that is like both nice and will make your microphone sound way better than any sort of wireless headset mic. It also feels really premium and it does like have a solid build. So I think it will last you a while, and all of the JBL stuff I've had does last me at least. I haven't had any of it break except for like one thing that got chucked across the football field, but that's irrelevant. So pretty much in conclusion, I think it's a pretty good product. I think it sounds pretty good. I mean, you guys saw the recording, so you can tell me what you think in the comments if you want. And I think that it is probably a decent value for money, especially considering the slim form factor, if that's something that's important to you. But that's pretty much all I have for today. If you guys could hit those like and subscribe buttons again, as I said earlier, that'd be really awesome. It helps me out as a small channel. And with all that out of the way, thank you so much.